Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I know it's been a while, but we are back. And today we are going to talk about how to make case studies for your projects. As like visual artists or designers, when we work on a project, it takes a lot of time, effort, research and everything. And when we have the final projects, it's very easy to deliver it to the client, but it's very hard to actually sit down and make a case study from it. And it's because we've spent so much time working on the project, we just get really tired. The case study is not going to look like what you deliver to the client. It's more like a director's cut, right? Where you are actually putting in things that kind of represent you as an artist or your company. This is the project that we are going to work on today, and the visuals that you see on the screen are some of them were made before for the project, some of them we made in this video. I'm going to take you through the process, how I find the right references in terms of like what projects are very similar to like what I'm doing, and how can I take that and implement that for my own project and basically build on that. So MedPlex is a company that's working on redefining corporate healthcare in the US. And we worked with them to create their brand identity from scratch. And from that, we created a lot of corporate decks and stuff like that, right? And now we were thinking, you know what, we actually, like after putting it out, we realized, you know what, this is a very cool project that we worked on, from the logo design to the animation to the visuals and everything that we created for them. So what we decided was, you know what, we are actually going to put this on our website. And for that, when we're looking at like website visuals, they require a bit more detail. Like for example, this is the norms project that we did. Even though we did so much for this client, but we wanted to actually curate an experience for whoever is coming to our website, right? And we thought about like, you know, how to present them in nice mock-ups, how to make sure the illustrations really pop out, the typography choices that we made really, you know, come through. So what we are going to do is create a case study for MedPlex. Now I do have all of the assets and everything. We did make a few assets. As you can see over here, Tahreem is our intern. She's helping us out, like, you know, curate all of this stuff. So we have a lot of things, and I need to really think about, okay, what will really look good on a website. So when I'm researching, like the first thing that I look at is like, okay, so I may look at like a very similar industry, right? But on top of it, I really look at projects which have like the same color palette, the same feel of it. And I try to see how the presentations look. So the first thing that I really do is I just go to Behance and I look at projects that can really look good. For example, I'm just going to look into like medical, for example. And we get a lot of these projects. I'm just going to open one that has like a very cool thumbnail, because from the thumbnail to the presentation, we need to nail everything for our website, right? So I'll start with this one. It's called Opal. And so you can see that, okay, so this is how their landing pages, their thumbnail images, and these are some other visuals that they have. This is how they're presenting their mock-ups. Nice way to show a very cool animation, some beautiful mock-ups, animation, very nice mock-ups. And yeah, oh, interesting, they have like these lab coats. You could also do that actually. And yeah, so I think this is a very cool presentation. So I'm going to take this, and having this on like, you know, for MedPlex is like the main thing. So right now it doesn't really matter like if the client is using certain assets in certain ways. That is the client's decision, right? Where we come in is like, okay, this is how we think it should be used, because a lot of the times where our decisions don't really align with the client's decision. So sometimes you're just solving a problem for the client. But sometimes when I'm making a case study, I always think about what is like the best way to showcase that project, and you know, what's the right way, because sometimes we suggest client to, you know what, you should print it on like this kind of paper, and they're like, no, we want it to be laminated. And like, you're like, okay, but in my presentation, I'm going to add the version that I think works. So in this case, this is a beautiful presentation. So I'm going to save this. Okay, this is good. Let's look at another one. This is online healthcare. Oh, this looks so fake. Like I wouldn't do something like, if I don't have any sketches, I'm not gonna make like a fake scene of me doing, like even if you're making it, like make it look really original, you know. Looks okay. Website looks nice. Mockups. Okay, not bad actually, but it doesn't look that good too, honestly. I think this is a very good example. I'm gonna stick to this one, right? So for the first image, we need to have something which is like this. So I think I'm gonna start off in Photoshop actually. So I'm gonna have my brand guide over here just so I can reference it, so I don't, you know, end up creating something which is way off. But so I have the logos over here. Let's just open those. Okay, I'm gonna start off with like placing all of these in my Photoshop document. Now the first thing that we want is we want a beautiful image of like for example what this brand did, right? Our reference, which is this one. Okay, so I like the layers, like very abstract, but I really like it, and I think they're using this stuff also. So I think for us we can even use like a, you know, hospital image. So I'm going to go to pixels and I'm going to go into hospital, right? And let's try to get an image that doesn't look like too stock, but it has like a nice feel to it. Like even this looks good, like a waiting area, but we want something that shows a little bit of like hope. Like for example, this looks good, like very cinematic, kind of scary though. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna save this image, even though it looks kind of like, why is she wearing a colorful hat? Okay, this looks a lot better. This looks a lot better. But I don't want them to be like, you know, surgery. It's like a bit too, like, I want whoever is looking at the project to feel like, okay, this is nice, good, happy doctors, you know, rather than, yeah. So I think instead of hospital, let's search doctor. Not this guy, you know. We want someone who's like, I cured you. You know, that's the vibe that we're looking for. Like using the right images is very important. I think over here, these look pretty good. I really like this one. It looks very natural. We're gonna use this. Okay, let's download this image. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to this, okay? It's simple, it's clean, and it looks beautiful. I think this direction is just could have been a very different direction. So, okay, so this is our main image, okay? Now let's delete this one. Okay, now next thing is I am going to copy the structure of that presentation that I really liked. So we're gonna copy, we're gonna click on this. Next one, let's go to Behance. Let's see what they are doing. So they have this, and then they have a visual which has a nice bento grid situation. I really like this mockup. It actually looks very realistic. It looks like it's like, you know, outside of a hospital or something. So I'm gonna have this one also. Maybe this could be like the third image. For the second one, they use the bento grid. We can use that, or I think we can use that. I had like a visual over here, but I think we can use it in a more interesting way, where we can have a bento grid on this side, and on the rest of the side we can have something else. I mean, this is a corporate brand, so we need to, you know, remind ourselves that we can't just do a lot of random things, because it is a medical company, it's a corporate brand, so we need to kind of respect that part of it. I think now it's like I want to really showcase like some very nice mockups. I really like this story template though, right? We can actually make something like this. Bendito Mockup is one of my favorite mockup sites. They have beautiful mockups, and they do have like some free mockups also in case you guys don't want to buy them. This looks beautiful basically. I think I really like this one though. You can use this. I think we did make a website for them, but they changed it around and it doesn't look as good as we planned it to be, but it looks pretty nice. And for example, this looks beautiful, right? Like this page looks really nice, this contact form looks really nice, but the spacing over here is kind of messed up. But yeah, I think we can use this and we can play around with it a bit. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this. So I think the main idea is always to like have enough like evidence in your case study, like, okay, these are the elements that we worked on, and if there's something that you can go like really deep into, you should. but sometimes you just can't, so that's totally fine also. But let's say we have the website over here, right? I think this looks good. Now the problem with this is that the image looks very weird. It's coming all the way over here. So I'm gonna just play around with it a bit. Amazing, this looks beautiful. And yeah, I think this is good. This is our website. Even though it's a corporate brand, like that's why I was so reluctant to like really put it out there, but I think it looks good. It looks pretty nice. I think we can have like some social media post over here at the bottom. Let's see what's the easiest way to like kind of do that. So there's this another case study that I updated in the morning, which is Ajeeb Design Fest 2024, and I may make a separate video about like how we created this whole brand identity, but you can see how beautiful everything looks, and we had so much that we did, so it's easier to like make case studies where you have a lot of social proof, a lot of like photography, a lot of mock-ups, and we made stickers, tickets, maps. Like this is such a big project. When we're looking at a project where it is very corporate, where like it's more about repetition and everything, so we need to really make sure like how we can translate that. So this is what I have right now. I have the main cover, the second slide, and a billboard, some more mock-ups, a nice booth mock-up, a website mock-up. And yeah, I think this is enough to start off with. What I usually do with case studies, like I have like a base case study that I upload, and with time, like if I think about, oh, there are like things that I can improve, I do improve on that. But I think this looks pretty good right now. So now when it comes to like uploading the project in Webflow, right? The main idea is, let's open Webflow. So Webflow has a very good CMS system. So let me go to works, and I wanted to like replace a bunch of these projects. And by the way, if you're wondering, like the TV show that's on the TV right now is Pantheon. I just finished both of the seasons and I absolutely loved it. I feel like the ending was a bit meh. It kind of reminded me of the ending of Lost, because I was like, okay, what is going to happen at the end? And then they just pulled off like this multi-universe thing, But I don't know, let me know what you think about it if you watch the show. Either way, let's export this into my project. I'm gonna first replace all of the images. Let's go to download. The second should be our logo animation. The third could be this beautiful image of this bento grid. The fourth could be billboard, I think. After the bento grid, we could do the billboard. After that, we could do the website. And I think about like, okay, what do I want people to see first? We could have this, and then the last one could be the booth. Okay, I think this looks good. So this is the final case study. I did spend a day or two after that to actually work on the visuals even more and bring everything together, and now everything looks beautiful. So you start off with this beautiful image, which is our thumbnail. Also, we slide down, we have our animation, which is this, and then we scroll down, we have some text which is talking about the project, and then we have a nice bento grid with the doctor, and then we have a bit more like what did Ajeeb Studio do in the project, and then we have some nice beautiful mock-ups of billboards. And then when we go down, we talk about business, a little bit more about the project, website, more about the project, some mock-ups, some social media mock-ups, some nice story mock-ups, a booth mock-up. I really love this, by the way. So we have a mask and the whole outfit that these doctors wear, the uniform, I think. Yeah, and then we have some more mock-ups. So this is the final presentation, and I'm very happy how it came together. It did take me some time, because I think what we created for the client were like very specific things, and they were good, and they kind of solved the problem that the client was planning to solve, but they weren't as good as case study, as good for like a case study. So I think this looks amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The whole idea was I wanted to kind of take you through the whole process of how I make a case study. And if you guys go to our website, you can see a lot of case studies that we made over here, and we are planning to change this one, updating it with a project that we did, which was Spotify icon. This is a very interesting one. This is where we did the album branding. So this is the logo that we made, and then you can see this was the main album art, and then I could place it in like a vinyl or like a CD thing, but I was like, you know what, I can just show an actual screenshot of Spotify. And then later on I actually showed more visuals, more close-up shots, and then shots of every artwork, and yeah, and it was actually shown on Times Square, so that was pretty big for us. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next week. Allah Hafiz.